Welcome to BitBoy Crypto.
We can't let anybody else find out who we are. My eyes are up here. I personally would not advise that strategy. Bugs Bunny or Tweety Bird, how to make money in crypto.
Oh, you're killing me.
Welcome to BitBoy Crypto, the People's Channel, home of the BitSquad, the largest and greatest crypto community in all the interwebs. No channel works harder to keep you in the know about crypto. We got an old polka dot pillow up there behind my head, I see. That's not even the polka dot logo anymore. What are we doing? Guys, my name is Ben. I come to you live every single day at 11:30 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. Guys, be in prayers for TJ. TJ had surgery today. He had a major shoulder surgery. So he got mad that he couldn't lift as much as me at the gym, so he had to go get fixed. Well, he didn't get fixed. That may not be the best way to say it. Yeah, TJ's out today. I'm not sure if he'll be back tomorrow or not, but he did have surgery. So let's all wish him a happy recovery. Let's hope he survives. I think he's fine. I think he was out of surgery already. So we got Frank running the board today. Say hey to the people, Frank.
Hello, I am here.
There he is.
Somebody just said 100x short on Frankie's TA. Well,
Whoa.
You were in the Discord last night. You could be in a short right now.
Oh,
in the
really?
green.
Well, we got Arcane Bear coming on to do TA. We have Expert TA instead of Frank today. So, hey. So we got a lot of really interesting stories to cover. We are going to be taking a look at CZ suing Bloomberg. We got a lot of media out there really throwing the hate down against crypto, which doesn't surprise me at all. It's not shocking. Somebody messaged me yesterday, and they said, man, I saw that article they wrote about you in the Washington Post, blah, 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 which big swing and miss for them. All the positive comments I got, or all the comments I got from it were positive. It makes the Washington Post look horrible, look outdated, which I get more viewers on one live stream than probably readers they've had an entire year. But you know what? It is what it is when you're not popular and you're outdated and you are really the shining example of technology has passed you by. Old newspaper yells at Bitcoin. That's kind of what it sounds like to me. But the fact is that we're going to see this for the next 2 years, guys. And so this person sent me this message. I said, look, it is what it is. For 2 years, we are going to get attacked and people are going to call us stupid and people are going to call us dumb. And then you know what's going to happen? For 2 years, they're going to call us geniuses. It happens every 4 years. This is the way we told you this was coming. People didn't want to believe we were going to be heading to the bear market, but certainly we are. We have Arcane Bear on today, and we have Blockchain Backer on Thursday. And we do have some guests tomorrow. I don't have it right in front of me. Ted's Life says, your crap show is about to end, bro. No, actually, it's 11:37. We've got like another, hour and 8 minutes probably of the show. So thanks for tuning in, Ted. We appreciate you. Thanks for following. Hey, Ben, SEC has sued library. If SECs won't that impact, if the SEC wins, won't that impact the XRP case? Library lawsuit was way before XRP, and they're going to win. It looks like they're getting a lot of positives back in the next 6 weeks. We're going to find out what happens there, I believe. So really, what you should be watching with XRP is a timetable. Once the library lawsuit is settled, then it really puts XRP back into the focus. Washington Compost. That's what James Bowler says. I mean, when's the last time you heard of the Washington Post before they, wrote an article about yours truly? They say I'm the everyday regular man frame. What does that even mean? These people just make phrases up. They just make words up. But they're low IQ. So if you're still in the news, I want you to know. Can we be very clear here? Can we be very clear? If you work for the New York Times, if you work for the Washington Post, if you work for the Chicago Sun-Times or Chicago Tribune, whatever it's called, you are low IQ. You're working in a dying industry, in a dying field. And here's what's beautiful. They attacked me because, we did some sponsored videos. Guess what? To go read the story about me, you got to pay them money. You can't even go read it without paying them money. So, they're using me to try to get money for themselves. How ironic, right? How ironic. But look, if you work for a newspaper, I'm sorry, you're low IQ. I've got no other way to say it. Unless you're actively looking for a new job, you should have taken a hint about 13 years ago, 14, 15 years ago when newspapers started dying. Maybe you might have wanted to consider like another career and things like that. So We're going to be talking about the SEC news with Coinbase. That's some big news today. We got some Tik Talks for you guys. We're going to be covering some, some that are pretty fun, some that are very serious. So we're going to see what happens there with that. Let's go ahead and get started here. Don't forget BitBoy Crypto. Don't forget to check out all of our channels we have here. Don't forget to subscribe to Frankie Candles, of course, BitBoy Bits, Espanol channel, Hit Network, Meta Money, NFT Alpha. Frankie Candles is coming for my head, I think, guys. When is Frankie Candles channel going to pass mine? That's the question.
I think we still got a little bit to go. Just a little bit.
DJ Matt OD, right on time with the super chat. Good morning from DC. Candle Mafia into building. Man, they love that, man. They love that. Bubba's Crypto Minnesota says, LL, I used Ben's low IQ on someone last week. It felt amazing. Doesn't it? Isn't it just the best cut down? Because it really is so true. SEC going after LCX to help Gary's friends at Goldman Sachs. Case mentions Monty's. I don't know what LCX is. Is that a crypto project? Seems familiar.
Yeah, LCX. What
is it like
that?
Luke's or something? Oh, no, I don't know what this is. Actually, I have no idea what this is. I've never heard of this. Coin number 400. It seems like low-hanging fruit for them. So, CTZ says, I come here for the highbrow, low IQ comments. Y'all are the best. I love y'all. The Bit Squad, you show up every single day. You kill it in the chat. You kill it in the basement. You guys are phenomenal. I'm sorry, basement. Frankie's going to ignore you today. But, you come here every day, and we just have a good time. That's what we do. Justin, BitBoy calls journalism stupid. Is that a newspaper headline? No, it is what it is, So, if he was smarter, the guy who wrote the article, maybe he'd be a YouTuber. He'd probably get a lot more attention than writing for a dead publication that you got to pay 94 cents for a subscription for. I'm sure they're really raking it in. If you're a journalist at this point for some of these major, news publications, do you just work for free? How do they pay you? I don't know. Okay, so moving on here, guys, I want to mention a couple things. Don't forget to follow Hit Merch on Instagram. We're doing a giveaway, as you guys can see here. This giveaway post has got, let's see, how many likes does this have on it? I can't tell. It's not telling me here for some reason. But go check this out right here. You guys can get a giant bucket, a basket of a lot of our merch. You guys know we have the coolest merch around. We got to get rid of the Ada Gang shirt, though. We got to change it. Won't it look so much cooler here to say Cardano Community? Cardano Community. But we do have the coolest merch. Every time I wear this shirt, people say stuff about it. They don't even know who I am, but they're like, oh, that's a cool shirt, So is what it is. Make sure to check that out. We did pick our winner for the NFT Expo tickets yesterday. I think they said they can't go. So I got to figure out what to do about that. Have to maybe pick another winner or something like that today. But see, now it's getting very close. Getting very close to the time where, it's on Friday. So, maybe we can figure out what to do with that. We might try one more winner. If one more winner can't go, we might have J-Chains give it away some other way. All right, so we got the Hit Merch. We did that. I also wanted to make sure you guys know that we are doing our first ever Canada meetup. It'll be in Toronto at the Futurist Conference, August 9th, 5:30 to 8 o'clock. Rebel Entertainment Complex, Outdoor Balcony, and Purple Room in Toronto, Canada. So if you're in Canada, if you're in the Bit Squad, you want to come check it out, make sure to do that. We also will be having a 50% off discount code for Bit Squad members. I'm trying to get that code today and get that to you guys tomorrow. And also don't forget Rare Bloom. You're going to check out Rare Bloom. I'll be putting out a tweet about this later today. We are doing a Bit Squad meetup there as well, but it will only be for people that have tickets to the conference. This one here, I believe you do not have to have a ticket for the conference, but I will double check that to make sure. Somebody said, go no super chat. What they say? They said, up.
Not letting me scroll. There we go.
Kenny told me green dots don't work, right? Ugh, two of my greatest rants together.
Poor Kenny.
All right, here we go. We got cryptos coming in 20,361. Exchanges 500, the same as yesterday. We are now well under $1 trillion, back at $950 billion in overall market cap. We are at 24-hour volume of 80 billion. Bitcoin dominance up a little bit, 41.7%. ETH dominance down heavily today, 17.6%. When these prices start dropping, people start jumping out, looking to get into stable coins, afraid of the final capitulation down, which I don't think we're going to see anytime soon. Bitcoin at $20,829. I believe tomorrow is the Fed meeting. I believe we'll get the news. Maybe prices going down in anticipation of that. Ethereum back down to 1377. Binance Coin 241. XRP 32 cents. Cardano getting crushed at 45 cents. Solana 35. Dogecoin 60. When I talk about Dogecoin, I just start yawning. It's amazing. So we'll see what happens there. Wayne Taste says, I remember in 2018 when your live stream chat had only 7 viewers. Guys, I didn't hit 1,000 viewers in a live stream until late 2020. I mean, it was very rare. I think an average for me was like 20 people forever. So I can't really say how grateful I am for this community. And I think about it a lot. This is something that, I tell you what, I've been thinking a lot lately because we're in bear market about what it took to build this channel, what it took to build myself to the level that we're at now. And, I miss those early days. Like, you don't think about it while you're in it because it's hard and you're looking at your numbers and they're low. But man, that's when I got my hands dirty. That's when we built this from the ground up. And that's how we have such a great community, because we did it the right way all the way through. We never cheated, and we were fine with having low numbers when we had low numbers. And just always grateful for you guys, because you don't know how hard it was during that time. It was so hard. And for any entrepreneur, you look back on those times that you really built your business, and it's one of those things where you miss it, but it's also better on this side for sure. Also, my wife got me this. You can't see this. You can't really. This is a little octopus paperweight. It's a little octopus paperweight. This will become very, very important in the coming months. That's what I'll say. We're going to sit it here and we're going to leave it here. My little friend here. And no, I'm not the Deep. Not Without My Dolphin is my favorite Lifetime movie, though. Yeah, so we got our little octopus here, and you guys will find out what that means. Carver Coin says, building is crazy hard. We've gone a full year so far, losing $5K a month. Here I am spending more money on marketing with the $10 super chat. It takes time, but let me tell you, you're not going to grow really in the bear market. It's not going to happen. Maybe just a little bit. There's more people here in general, but you just want to position yourself when the prices start going up to be the best way possible. Who makes that NFT frame on your desk? Also bring on Marshall Hayner from Proton. I mean, I know what Proton is. It's just a Sylvania. Like, this is, I don't think this is actually an NFT. These are JPEGs. These are my NFTs. I do have these, but these are just JPEGs in a regular rotating digital frame here. Gabe, the shoe painter. Good morning, Ben and Frankie. Quick question. What are 3 good projects? I have ETH and Matic. What is a good third project? What do you think, Frank? And we'll bring Arcane Bear on.
I would say, listen, a little higher risk, I guess you can consider it, but XRP.
Ooh, there he goes.
Matic would have been one of my suggestions. I would say Gala. I know, Ben, you don't like Gala.
I'm not biggest fan.
But I would say Gala and Cosmos.
Ooh, Cosmos is a good one. I'm gonna say pick between HBAR and Algorand. That's what I'm gonna say. I think those are definitely 2 to watch in the near future. You're gonna want exposure. If I were to choose, I would probably go with Algorand over HBAR, just because I know more about Algorand. I know a lot about HBAR too, but I actually, when they launched, I did a sponsored video with Algorand. Like, I go way back since the very first, YouTube videos they ever put out when they were doing their Dutch auction and all that stuff. So I know a lot about Algorand, and I know the people behind it. And I know they're real legit. And this is going to be here for a while. HBAR is really more based on the partnerships that they have. I don't know the team super well there, but I would say Algo over HBAR, but just by a thin margin. So, all right, let's bring on Arcane Bear. We've kept him waiting long enough. There he is.
Hey,
good
to see you again, Ben. You're looking great.
speaking about somebody who built in a bear market, you know how that is, right?
It's the best time to stick around. It's when everyone starts to lose their interest and prices become much more, the risk to reward ratio is weighted in your favor.
Oh, for sure. Now, let me ask you this question just right off the rip here. Did you think, let's go back a year and a half, did you think we would get back down to these kinds of lows?
The last time we chatted, I was talking about the three peaks in a domed house thesis, which is basically, it's right at the tail end of potentially being invalidated. And there's some really strong macro headwinds that are taking place that would have been hard for me to, in any way, shape, or form, imagine. Like the start of 2020, just in general, like if you watch my podcast earlier, I was having PhDs in physics and biology. I was talking all sorts of fringe, I guess, medical or scientific conversations, and a lot of that's gotten banned. So there are so many fields that I could have not imagined we would have ended up in this space. So this particular price range to me, I think, is reflective of a few things. Number one, the Fed massively reducing quantitative easing basically for the first time since 2008. And the huge run up we had from 2020 was largely due to this huge flush of money hitting the ecosystem. Now, in terms of where we go next, I think it's always important to have a long time frame. I'm not much of a trader. I'm a long-term accumulator. And then as those those trees start to fruit, you pick the fruits off as they become valuable. But right now we're in an accumulation area. There are a lot of indicators that point to that. So there was reason to believe that we would come down this low and that we could still go lower. When fear hits the market, people do all sorts of irrational things. I think the pandemic, the beginning of that was a huge learning lesson for me. I've never seen people run out and buy toilet paper before. All of a sudden, toilet paper was like the hottest seller on the street. So, I think this is a huge lesson in terms of how scared people can get, and then the effects of that in the market. So I think we're in a pretty normal range. Could have guessed that it would go this low, but this is at the kind of the final threshold of where I think we'll go. Even though we could drop lower, it's still within a nice range. So I like what we did last time where we had a few questions. I got an enormous amount of charts and data here ready that we could go over.
Let's start there. Let's start with some of those charts that you got. And then if people ask some questions that come up, from showing these, then, we can bring those up as well. So be on the watch out for those, Frank.
Nice. So just a quick little shout out to our friends over here at Look Into Bitcoin who have this nice fear to greed index that's kind of shows the heat map of the fear. We're in some of the highest levels of fear. And back here, again, you can see what the pandemic did down to a score of 8. And we hit that. We actually hit a score of 6. So this is due to rising fuel prices, rising food costs. You've got protests in like 35 different countries. But what's important, I think, is understanding Bitcoin as a generator, as an asset. If you need air conditioning, it's only valuable in the summertime. So getting an air conditioner installed in the winter is usually cheaper. So a lot of the times when an asset becomes most valuable is when the utility of that asset is most important. I don't know if you guys saw this, but they've set up banks or tanks around banks.
Yeah, we talked about this
China
yesterday a little bit. Yeah.
This was one of the first moments where I really understood how valuable Bitcoin was, regardless of the price, was back here in 2012 to 2013, which was the Cypriot financial crisis. So if we kind of go back here, we look at the chart. So on March 25th, 2013, right around here, we had our first run up to $200. So this is a logarithmic regression chart that we're looking at right now. And this big move into the $200 range, and then very shortly after, about 100 days later, into around $1,000, was the kind of the breadth of the Cypriot financial collapse. And it's when a lot of people realize that the banks can just take your money, and what we see here with China, we're like, oh, your finances are basically now in investment vehicles in our bank. You can't take it out. Mm-hmm. This is where Bitcoin's value really comes from. It comes from what it can do in times of a crisis. The last time we talked, I had a friend who was in Sri Lanka, and they had to basically leave everything. They left their houses, they left their dogs, they left their businesses. And one of the only things that they were easily able to travel with was crypto, whether that's Bitcoin or USDC. This whole sector provides a type of sovereign control over your wealth and your assets, which we've just never seen before. That value is worth often more than the price. So it's usually in the moment when you need it the most, the price is also the highest. So I suspect as things get worse, the price will continue to rise, but it's not going to rise under the heavy amounts of leverage. You know, we saw huge blow ups, Celsius, Nexo, Three Arrows Capital,
Well,
apparently
I was about to
totally
say,
insolvent.
I was about to say, Arcane Bear, I was about to say that, you know, the tanks around the Chinese banks where they're saying like, hey, you know, we got your money, it's actually an investment. That reminded me of Celsius, you know, because that was basically the same thing that they did. You know, there's, oh yeah, by the way, like your money, it wasn't ever really yours, it's ours. You know, so kind of a lot of parallels we're seeing between, you know, some of these crypto third parties and what's going on over there.
Yeah, it's one of these ideas of, you know, this not your keys, not your
Mhm.
coins type of mentality. You know, the real value here is that you have a sovereign asset, and most assets are not sovereign. Like my property here in Costa Rica, if Costa Rica's government starts to go to shit, like the property value is going to decrease, and I'll just leave my house and my dogs like my friend did. And there's very few assets that you can put in your brain and walk across borders and
Yeah.
basically be free. You don't have that opportunity, and it's again usually not until crisis hits when people need that asset. And my friend going through this process in Sri Lanka was another stark reminder. It's like the governments and the banks will just take your money and then you have none of it, and that's a horrible realization. And so you have to want to try to front run that. Now, in terms of how low we go, we could go down to $10,000 or $12,000. I think this is where we turn around. Like this was kind of the bottom end of the thesis the last time we talked. I think we get a relief rally maybe as high as $40,000.
Oh, wow.
A big part of this is a conversation around inflation, right? If you look at what's happening in the world, a lot of this isn't inflation. Prices in gas are not inflated. They're much more expensive because we've cut off supply lines and distribution centers. So it's not so much inflation that's being reflected as it is poor basically poor management of the economic system. So I think we're at the final one of the lower bands. I do think we get a nice run here over the next little while. On the shorter time frame, we'll know it'll be invalidated within the next 24 hours effectively. If we can't get back above 21,700, we're going to come down much lower. And one of the things I like to do here is just map out a long-term time horizon. We've both been here for a while,
Yeah.
and the bear markets effectively feel boring. Like you have this whole bottom range between 2014 and 2016 where nothing happened and no one was paying attention. Most average retail investors don't show up until the price is peaking. And then they think, oh, great, everyone's turning into millionaires or billionaires. Like, I'm just going to throw all my money in now. And this is usually the part of the hype cycle that destroys the kind of mindset of most traders, and confuses a lot of people, because you can become rich by accident. Like there's a lot of people who do very well, not because they're good at what they do, but because there's a large sequence of events that basically end up in this random form of success. You know, Three Arrows was another one. They had done enormously well, and then just like that, they're gone, you know. So I think it's important to recognize that there's a lot of luck involved in terms of timing the market. And more than timing the market, we try to find assets and then accumulate them over long periods of time. So there's a few other ideas I wanted to go over here very quickly. We're just below the 200-week moving average. Pretty much every time we've slumped down this low, this represents like again, a high reward to risk relationship. So it's in your favor to be accumulating. And I think for most people, instead of just putting lump sums in, whether you want to call it dollar cost averaging or time averaging, where you just put in as much money as you can afford to invest, this usually plays out the best. So there are a few other strong indicators. The 1100, the 200, and the 200-week moving average are all coming to a confluence right around this point as well. So we're hitting a lot of strong indicators there. The long-term holder and short-term holder profitability, we're down near historic lows here. Wow. The MVR score, again, down near historic lows. Pretty much every time we get these big bottoms, the MVR kind of peaks out here at just below negative 0.5 or negative 0.2 effectively. And then again, we already looked at that one. And then here, I really like the Mayer multiple. This is another kind of good way to look at it. I'll zoom into a bit of a closer. So this data is all from Glassnode. This is on-chain data, as well as, so you've got basically anything below this green line is historically a good place to be accumulating. Now, I'm only looking at Bitcoin because it's kind of our main bread and butter in this ecosystem. For a long time, I've stood by the idea that if this works, if it works and we find a way to create a sovereign money where we don't need to trust governments, we don't need to trust banks, we can rely on something that's a bit more stable, which is the code and the mechanism that underlies the technology. We're betting on a future that looks much different than the world we live in today. This kind of idea that microprocessors inevitably end up in micro-governance is a really long, drawn-out conversation. And we're kind of in some of the peak moments where I think a lot of people are starting to recognize centralized control and governments are just not as useful for people. I grew up in Canada, where in British Columbia, people were growing marijuana from when I was a kid, but over in Toronto, you'd end up in jail right away, like go to jail for any ganja. So you've got this overarching federal process that says these things are illegal, but in these different jurisdictions, people are friendly and some people are not friendly towards these ideas. So I think it's important to recognize that we're in the potential of the degradation of government and society as we know it, which ends up being very volatile. So this is also why we aim, okay, well, Bitcoin could come down to $12,000. So as long as you're prepared to ride that train and have a strategy going through it, you're going to do phenomenally well.
I think that's a great point, because somebody in the chat, they said, "Oh, why are all the YouTubers like mimicking the same thing, all saying 10,000, all saying 12,000?" Well, there's a very simple reason for that, because traditionally Bitcoin's dropped 85%. 85% is $10,366. So it's not like we're coming up with these numbers randomly out of the air. The important thing that you guys understand is it is definitely possible that we go that low or slightly lower. If you're not prepared for that, and it happens, that's when people capitulate and leave this market. That's when we try to prepare you guys for these lower numbers. It's not 100% that we're going to drop that low. I feel like it's a much stronger chance that we do than we don't, with a relief rally in the middle. I think that's important. But I want a couple questions for you, Arcane Bear. First, guys,
yes,
we do have...
I love your questions.
Yes. And first, did you pin that in the chat? Make sure you pin it, his link.
Gotcha.
A lot of people have been asking about your YouTube channel. So we're going to... we put it in the chat. We're going to pin it so you guys can see that. And remind me to do a poll after we get off this on whether people like my rant.
Thank you.
So, Arcane Bear, question somebody had, Car for Coin with a super chat, said, what on the logarithmic regression chart, what is the top of the band in 2025? Because, I mean, 2025, we're kind of looking hopefully at peaking again. So what does that kind of look like on that chart?
I wonder if I have the top of the band here. I think looking at Bitcoin has the top of the band for the or a version of it. Let's take a look here. So if you guys haven't used looking at Bitcoin, both Flib and Mr. Phil there, they've done a great job with some of these free indicators. Actually, both of these bands don't extend outwards at the moment. So I don't have a logarithmic chart that continues because these are...
Could we kind of guess?
These are live charts. Yeah. So if we go out to 2025, and again, as the log grows, it gets flatter, basically, we end up near around, this is at $100,000 to $200,000 effectively.
Great.
Yeah.
I think that's a good estimate for the next bull run, I think, potentially.
Yeah, we could see a total separation. In past, all currencies have failed over time. Watching the euro hit parity with the dollar is a big deal. And effectively, we're witnessing all of these governments print and destroy their currencies. We could see a total separation. Like in the Weimar Republic, if thinking that you would get 1 trillion marks to every ounce of gold was probably unheard of when you were when it was almost at parity at one point. So if we see a total breakdown in the US dollar, it could go way higher than that because the US dollar would become worthless, right? And this is, I think, also what we're witnessing is that Bitcoin's price or value, Bitcoin's value hasn't changed, but the trust and the faith in the dollar system, I think, is degraded so much that we see these higher prices, that they're almost a reflection of each other.
I think that's a great point. And going back to the pandemic, when it started, that was one of the reasons why we started ticking up our predictions for where we thought Bitcoin was going to go, because it bottomed the day of the crash, and then inflation started. So the value started going down to the dollar, and it was like Bitcoin was going up while the dollar was going down. But what's really fascinating here in this bear market is something we talked about last year. We could potentially see the value of Bitcoin has been going down while the value of the dollar is going up. And if we were project forward to the halving in 2024, it looks like we could be setting up for something absolutely insane where the quantitative easing gets turned on again when Bitcoin is at a bottom. And that would be something really fascinating to see if it could supercharge the price could go higher than, I think there's a chance the diminishing returns that we've seen bull market over bull market reverses. And we finally get one where we have higher returns than the last one. What are your thoughts on that?
It's again, it's dependent on the kind of the trust and the faith that the people have in their governments and the currency. When you look at a dollar and it says in God we trust, a lot of money itself is based off the faith and confidence in the ecosystem working.
Mhm.
Again, just like my asset or my home here in Costa Rica, if the government starts to collapse and people go into riot mode, like the value of the asset is going to decrease enormously, even though it's still the same amount of square meters, it's still got water. Effectively, the security of that place starts to diminish. So it's a difficult one to try to understand, because you're dealing with a huge amount of human emotion, and I've never been good at that, trying to understand how people think. I think this is the US dollar chart at the DXY. We were in a long-term accumulation and we've broken above the chart here. Right now, what I've had a hard time trying to understand is, are we dealing with criminals or are we dealing with just a malfeasant Federal Reserve? And every time they do something, I start to feel more and more like that we're actually dealing with criminals. That this is not just like negligence and, oh, hey, we don't know what we're doing. We're accidentally causing inflation. And now trying to change the term of what recession is. It appears more and more like we're actually dealing with criminal behavior. And that's much harder to try to comprehend, because stupid does things right. Like a broken clock is right at least twice a day. But here we see all the mistakes in the same direction. And that to me is, I think, what did they say? 3 times is enemy fire. So when you see that many mistakes going in the same direction, I start to lean into this idea that we're dealing with criminals. And if I were the criminal right now, if we start to raise interest rates and we jack up the value of the dollar, the reason why Sri Lanka and all these other countries are going into riots and protests is because their foreign currency reserves that they need to use to buy oil, which is often where they get electricity, or at least how they deliver their food, and just like all their major distribution centers, they need oil and fuel to deliver that stuff. They don't have that currency to buy that oil with. So every time the US raises their interest rates, they're putting an enormous amount of pressure on the emerging markets. And this can be disastrous. Now, on the plus side, it's likely that we'll get a bit of relief on the US dollar. Here, I got at the bottom here is the RSI. And we actually have some bearish divergence where right now the peak of the price here and the RSI itself are opposite of each other. So this is a bearish signal effectively. How low we go is hard to say. So again, I think eventually the Fed will capitulate and they will go into printing mode. BlackRock just came out and said that earlier today as well, that it's highly likely we go into more states of quantitative easing. And if you actually look at the Federal Reserve balance sheet, they've increased it, even though they've said that they would decrease it. So in the background, they're like, yeah, we're going to decrease it, which they've got like some $1 trillion in mortgage-backed securities and bonds, but they in fact haven't decreased it. They've increased it by around $30 billion, I think, over the last few months, significantly less than they were doing, but nonetheless still increasing.
Yeah, absolutely. They always say one thing and do the opposite, but I think it is pretty significant. Probably that BlackRock is, talking about quantitative easing coming back. I predicted, I think by the end of this year, we're going to see the stall of the Fed rate hikes and probably the reversal in the December meeting. We get the reversal of the quantitative easing, or the quantitative time back to quantitative easing. Arcane Bear, would love to have you on longer. Oh, go ahead.
Yes,
One more comment.
my one last sentiment here is that if we are dealing with criminals, they just keep raising the interest rates. What it feels like is they want to suck all the US dollars back into their hands before they try to roll out some type of central bank digital currency. They'll blame it on anybody but themselves. Oh, it was Putin's fault. We got to do this new programmable money. So my big worry is that they just keep raising to try to suck all that US dollar cash back and then instigate some type of new digital currency. They're like, hey, we've got a solution to the problem we created.
Yeah, exactly. And I think they're setting up for that. I think USDC is going to be the digital dollar. I think that's what's going to be rolling out, backed by Circle, Goldman Sachs, all the Tether FUD all the time. There's a reason for all that. But thank you so much for coming on. You're always an awesome guest. You always have great insights. Ben. Everybody in the chat really enjoyed it. And we'll catch you on the next one. You guys can also see Arcane Bear on Around the Blockchain a good bit. And make sure to go check out
Thanks,
his
BitSquad.
link in the chat. So, all right, Arcane Bear, we'll see you later.
I appreciate it. Ciao.
And we also have the author of the Washington Post article, I think, is in the chat. I think he's he's using a different name, but we have a Washington Post maximalist in the chat right now. Thank you so much for coming in, WAPO. You guys are, what a friggin' ridiculous WAPO. That's the best you got. So anyways, we definitely have a Washington Post maximalist in the chat. Believes Washington Post is the only publication people should read. These people. Yeah, you're not fooling anybody, bud. We know who you are. Nobody comes in defending the Washington Post. Actually, there's zero crossover between our audience here of technology-loving, cutting-edge people and people that read the Washington Post. There's no crossover. That's why all the people that messaged me about that article, none of them are in crypto. They're just people I know. So cool. All right. And also we had, what was the chat over in the basement? The first chat, first question. It was something about, there it is. Question. This is from King Sosa. Thanks for coming to the basement. That is our Twitch chat. Question. When buying altcoins, will they bottom the same time as Bitcoin, or will it be delayed and the altcoins bottom after BTC? In general, what we see, now keep in mind, we only have one full altcoin season to bear market. Back to bull market, but not really. We didn't have a robust altcoin season other than meme coins. Other than meme coins. So we don't have a lot to base that off of. But what we've seen before is that Bitcoin bottoms and the altcoins hover at their bottoms for like a year. So Bitcoin will come up a little bit, but a lot of those altcoins will continue to, when Bitcoin moves, they'll move. And when Bitcoin goes down, they'll get crushed more and end up back at the same spot. So that is generally what we see. Can't wait for our new our new Washington Post maximalist to come back into the chat.
They're saying it's Kenny.
It's either Kenny or it's the guy that wrote. I don't even know who the guy's name is that wrote the article. I talked to him for an hour on the phone on Friday. An hour on the phone. He used one quote. One quote. And he said, Zach XBT set up a sting operation to find out BitBoy's prices. Guys, it's called a media sheet, and literally anyone who ever asked for it, we send it out to. It's not a sting operation. Like these people would have you believe. All you had to do was ask. If it was secretive and under lock and key, we wouldn't have gave it out. But we did. That was what things were back then. So it is what it is. It's just the stuff that comes out of these people's mouths, trying to throw people under the bus. And it's going to continue a lot more in crypto. Be ready for this. We are all getting thrown under the bus over the next year, as a lot of angry people are out there. People lost money. They come in at the wrong times. And it is what it is. So if the Coinbase exchange goes under, will my crypto on Coinbase wallet be safe? Yes, because you have your own keys on that private. You own your keys, so you own your crypto. I do want to point out real quick, I want to show this. You guys know we had Singularity DAO on the other day after we had Simon Dixon. This was their response to what I said. They said their solution is totally non-custodial, so your keys, your crypto. We're creating best-in-class insurance solutions for additional security ASAP. So basically, you're able to own your own crypto and still use a Singularity DAO trading. I just want to point that out because we mentioned after the interview, like, that wasn't clear. And so that was obviously something that got brought up. All right, let's move on. We got a lot to cover here. Crypto market cap slides under 1 trillion. Crypto market and U.S. stocks suffer after Walmart lowers earnings forecast. So let's get to Tik Talks. Let's do Tik Talks. I forgot about this. I had to put my thing on. There we go. All right. Tik Talks. Do you know how to run that?
Yes. Let's just hope it doesn't break.
Hopefully you put the new ones in. Okay. Oh, zoom me out. I like to be zoomed out.
Gotcha. Boom.
Okay.
All right. Here we go.
Let's go.
I think the 40-year loan is going to be the way that financial institutions address affordability.
Mm-hmm.
Right. That's it. It was just like back in the day when you were buying a car.
Yeah.
Cars got more expensive, and cars used to only have 4-year loan terms on them.
Mm-hmm.
Then all of a sudden they started doing 5-year terms. Then they started doing 6 and 7-year terms because cars got more expensive.
Yeah.
So all the bank is going to do is follow the exact same thing that they found on what they were able to do on automobiles, but now it's on an asset that appreciates instead of depreciates, so they're in even a better spot.
Why are you watching me and you don't follow me?
I think
Okay. All right, that's pretty good. Then it's from Jamil Donji. I thought that was really cool. I thought that was a great example of what you can see. Guys, houses are getting more and more expensive. As you know, the real estate prices have gone up. They're starting to crash a little bit, and they'll continue to crash. The problem is people don't have money right now because the interest rates are getting so insanely high. Basically, I think it's about 4% plus the federal rate. So it's like 2.5%. Mortgage rates are up to 6.5%. Some people are expecting that to get as high as 8%. What does that mean for someone trying to buy a house? That means you have to have a much higher down payment, money at the beginning to be able to get the house. So how are these people, how are the real estate markets, how are they going to adjust? Well, they're going to start having longer and longer terms. The 40-year loan, I've heard the 50-year loan potentially becoming an option. And I've also seen people say the biggest winners of this entire market are going to be people that bought their homes at like a 1% interest rate or 2% interest rate, because they're going to be getting extremely much higher. So Redwood Fisherman says, Ben, I don't blindly follow anyone, but honestly, you've won me over. I'm a fan. That's what I hope. I hope over time we win people over. I think there's a huge misperception out there that floats around for people that don't watch this channel and run their mouths compared to what we actually do here. Now, I think when people actually give the channel a chance and they come on and they watch, or maybe they ended up at a different channel, they came in through us, they come back to us, you know, I think they'll see we are the highest quality that exists out there in the crypto space. All right, next one, please. Let's move on.
Here we go.
This is the best explanation I've ever heard in my life of what Bitcoin is and why it's important. Check it out.
What is Bitcoin? Bitcoin is the world's first cryptocurrency, and it works because of the world's first public blockchain network. What does Bitcoin do? It's simple. It lets you send and receive value to and from anyone in the world using nothing more than a computer and an internet connection. Now, why is it revolutionary? Because unlike every other tool for sending money over the internet, it works without the need to trust a middleman. The lack of any corporation in between means that Bitcoin is the world's first public digital payments infrastructure. And by public, I simply mean available to all and not owned by any single entity. Now, we have public infrastructure for information, for websites, for email. It's called the internet. But the only public payments infrastructure that we have is cash, as in paper money. And it only works in face-to-face transactions. Before Bitcoin, if you wanted to pay someone remotely over the phone or the internet, then you could not use public infrastructure. You would rely on a private bank to open their books and add a ledger entry that debits you and credits the person you're paying. And if you both don't use the same bank, well, then there'll be multiple banks and multiple ledger entries in between. With Bitcoin, the ledger is the public blockchain, and anyone can add an entry to that ledger, transferring their Bitcoins to someone else. And anyone, regardless of their nationality, race, religion, gender, sex, or creditworthiness, can for absolutely no cost create a Bitcoin address in order to receive payments digitally. Bitcoin is the world's first globally accessible public money. Is it perfect? No. Neither was email when it was invented in 1972. Bitcoin's not the best money on every margin. It's not yet accepted everywhere. It's not used often to quote prices, and it's not always a stable store of value. But it is working, and the mere fact that it works without trusted intermediaries is amazing. It's a computer science breakthrough, and it will be as significant for freedom, prosperity, and human flourishing as the birth of the internet.
All right, we'll wrap that one up. That was probably about the end there. Guys, it's so important. Okay, so I want to tell you guys something. I mentioned a few times. I'm writing a book. It is called Catching Up to Crypto. And this book is going to take anyone who comes to this channel and tries to watch videos and says, I'm trying to watch, I'm trying to understand. I know you try as hard as you can to be simple, but it's still a little over my head. Once you read this book, nothing we do on this channel will be over your head. And you will be at a solid place to be able to, go further with your crypto education. But we can't forget, it's not all Bitcoin. There's so much more to the space than just Bitcoin. That's why I'm writing this book, Catching Up to Crypto. We want this to be, kind of what the internet of money was for Bitcoin. We want it to be similar, or the Bitcoin standard. We want that to be similar for this book for all across crypto. But we can't forget Bitcoin. Like, we cannot forget Bitcoin. We can't forget that this was really the thing that set up the rest of the entire space. And everything he says is true. We're still so, like, even when Arcane Bear was talking, he was talking about, how trusting the government, and are they nefarious? Are they criminals? We know that they are. We know they're all criminals. We know Gary Gensler is a criminal. We know William Hinman is a criminal. We know Janet Yellen is a criminal. We know this. It's pretty easy. Just follow the money. We know Nancy Pelosi and Paul Pelosi are criminals. There's no question about it. They're insider trading. 0%. Nobody thinks they're not insider trading. These are absolute criminals. So you forecast what Bitcoin is going to look and how it can fix some of this stuff. And the fact is, it can fix some of it, but it's a long ways away. I'm telling you, I still think we're 50 years away from seeing Bitcoin able to have a massive impact on the governance and economies of the world. It's a long ways away. It's going to be a bitter fight. But I thought that was a great explanation for people coming in to hear what Bitcoin was and how it said everything else. And also, guys, don't forget to smash that like button. Number one thing you can do as a member of the Bit Squad, if you love them, we have these graphics, we have these Tik Talks, we do Twitter Buzz, we got plenty. Hey, we're trying to come up with a crypto TMZ segment, so we're going to be working on that next. So be looking for that. Won't be every day, maybe once a week. All right, last one. This one's real quick. It's from my boy Crypto Mason. It says you got to be able to lose six figures. It says lose actually. So many times and say it is what it is and move on. That's the only way you get to 7 and 8 figures, guys. You're going to take Crypto Mason, one of my great friends. Love this guy. Make sure you're following him on TikTok. He said he's going to come on down the road. He said he's just really busy. He said that on Twitter. I guess people were tagging him. But the fact is that this is somebody who understands you got to lose in crypto to win. You have to lose in crypto to win. I'm telling you, all of these people, look at the Dogecoin millionaire guy. You guys seen the Dogecoin millionaire guy? He came in, he got up to $2 million in Dogecoin. What's he back down to? Like $200,000 in Dogecoin. I think he took a $100,000 loan out, or I don't know what he did. I think he put $100,000 in, something like that, maybe 10,000, and it went way up, and now it's way down. Remember this: people who make money overnight in crypto, they will be most likely poor again. It's the build up and it's the learning process and the losing that you go through. So many of you guys sitting here and you're like, I've lost so much money, but I still believe. And that's the attitude you have to have. That's the attitude that I had that got me to where I'm at. You got to stick through it. Andrew says, Ben, will your book be on Amazon? Yeah, absolutely. Book will be on Amazon. We'll be starting pre-orders for that. I think maybe in November, maybe October, we'll be doing pre-orders. So we think it's going to be really, really big. We think it's going to be a #1 crypto seller. We think it's going to be a bestseller. It's a phenomenal book. You guys are going to absolutely, and I'm not trying to play it up. I'm just being honest with you. We have worked so hard on this book to make sure this is covering the history, the perspective of crypto, where we're at right now in crypto, and showing you where we're going in crypto. And it really is for your friends and family who don't know anything about crypto. This is what you give them, and that is where they can get caught up. And then they can come to the channel and they can watch the channel. Of course, you guys should all buy it too for yourselves because you're in the Bit Squad and you definitely want that book. We'll be doing book signings and all kinds of stuff. We're really excited. We're working with a major publishing company, same publishing company that published, I think, the Bitcoin Standard. So we're real excited about it. So anyways, we'll be talking about it a lot more on the channel. All right, let's move on here. CZ, Binance CEO sues Bloomberg subsidiary alleging defamation. Now, we actually were getting prepared to sue somebody from defamation here recently, but they backed off, and then they created an anonymous channel that we know it's them too. So we're still pursuing that. But look, you can't make up lies about people that are provably false and not get punished for it. Like, I hate that. And we live in this world where everybody thinks it's just okay to throw everybody under the bus because everybody's on social media and you can just lie about anybody. That's not true. So like CZ, I will come after you if you make up lies about me. I will defend my reputation. I will defend my credibility. And I understand why he's doing this. A Bloomberg article was republished by its Chinese subsidiary using the title Zhao Jinping's Ponzi scheme. Binance CEO Xingping Zhao, or CZ, is suing Bloomberg Business Week in Hong Kong, accusing the outlet of defamation. The filing contained defamation claims which stem from a translated Chinese article that alleged the exchange boss was running a crypto Ponzi scheme. Filing documents claim that Modern Media published a report that contained false, malicious, and defamatory statements about CZ and his company. You see here, Bloomberg, hey, exactly. This is what the Washington Post did to me. This is what New York Times did to me. This is what CNBC did to me. But by the way, CNBC's never put out this piece. They filled 2 hours of an interview with me here in my studio, and they never put it out. So I don't know what the deal is with these people, but they always use the same tactics. Here it is. Hey, we will do a nice profile piece on you, invite you for photo shoots, then switches the story last minute, ignore all positive comments they got from third parties, picked only old negatives, and still puts you on the cover. WTF, unprofessional. Listen, okay, my wife, she has a communications degree. She took a lot of journalism classes. And, you know, her comment when she read this is just, she's just so disappointed in where journalism is today, because there are no true investigative pieces that are done. Here's what journalists do now, and maybe our Washington Post author maximalist can comment on this. Here's what they do: they pick the narrative beforehand. They pick where they want the story to go before they do the research and before they do the investigation. They know the end. They start with the end of the story before they write the beginning. Why do they do that? Because clickbait, because clicks, because clout, because of sales. That's why they do this, because they know in a bear market, crucifying crypto exchanges, crucifying crypto influencers, crucifying crypto projects, calling everything a security, that is going to be the best. Oh, yeah, I take that. Brought to you by Beats by Ben headphones. That's going to be the absolute best thing that they can do. Craft the story the way they want to craft it. And they're lying. They're literally lying to you when they are telling you what the article is or the piece is going to be about. It is criminal. They're literally lying to you to get you to give information to publicly defame you. And that's what CZ is saying here. It's absolutely ridiculous. And yes, CZ, you should definitely go after these people. So I'm very careful about allegations. When I make allegations about anybody, I make sure to say, this is alleged, or I want to be very clear here. I don't know for sure, because, I mean, other than Gary Gensler, I mean, he's for sure a criminal. Janet Yellen's for sure a criminal. Okay, except for those two. But when it comes to these allegations, you got to be careful about stuff. You can't just make stuff up. I mean, with those two people, all the stuff's on the books. You can see it. Anyways, he is suing them. We'll see what happens with this. According to court documents, Bloomberg partially satisfied some of Zhao's comments before the lawsuit was filed by changing the article to "the mysterious Xingping Zhao." Still quite alluring for the clicks. So there you go. 74% of public agencies feel under-equipped for crypto investigations. Hey, I want to do a poll. Here's the poll. Do you like when Ben rants?
Gotcha.
Because somebody said they hated my rants and I should only talk about crypto and never rant again. So let's see what the numbers work out to. Let's see here. Coinbase refutes claims. Wait, did I miss a story? Oh, okay. Anyways, did not miss one. Coinbase refutes claims that it lists securities as SEC kicks off investigations. This is pretty interesting here, guys. If you didn't know, I covered this story on Twitter yesterday. Here were my comments about it. Let's see here. Well, going after crypto in a bear market. How cliche, Dirty Gary. By the end of the year, the SEC is going to have virtually no power over crypto. Gary Gensler knows this, which is why he is grasping at straws to keep and expand his power. And that's what we've been telling you. It is all a land grab. He is coming after this stuff to try to mark territory through enforcement without doing the works that he actually needs to be doing. This guy is negligent in his job. Not only is he bad at his job and loses everything he tries to do, this man has no wins. I want you to think about this. Gary Gensler has no serious wins as SEC commissioner. Name one. Name one win this man has had. He's been charged with the library investigation, been charged with the XRP investigation. He's tried to go after BNB. He tried to go after Uniswap. This man has 0 wins. He doesn't have a single thing he can put a feather in his cap on and say, this is what I've done while I've been the SEC commissioner. The only thing he can say is, I've got giant bulging eyes, a bald head, and I look like an alien. That's the only thing he can say. 78% people like they like the rants. I'm just saying, this was similar numbers to what I expected, okay? So you just know, if you don't like them, don't make me rant on the rant. I'll go on a rant. Rants +1, but I worry about your blood pressure. Just so you guys know, my blood pressure is perfect. I've never had an issue with blood pressure in my entire life, is in terms of actually going to the doctor and getting it taken. I'm always like 120 or 130 over 80 or 80, whatever it is. I'm always right in the exact, I'm surprisingly enough, even when I was very overweight, I'm extremely healthy in terms of all my doctor's numbers. So watch Frankie Candles, 5:45 p.m. EST, best TA. There you go, definitely. Major crypto exchange has denied allegation it lists securities after the U.S. SEC embarked on an investigation of digital assets that should have been registered as securities. I'm happy to say it again and again. We are confident that our rigorous diligence process, a process the SEC has already reviewed, keeps securities off our platform, and we look forward to engaging with the SEC on this matter. As you guys can see, we're up to 80%. Loving the rants, up to 80%. I love you guys.
Chat's going nuts, too.
They do, man. They love the blood pressure rant. They want a blood pressure rant? Chug that bang. Okay.
It's a challenge. See if we could raise Ben's blood pressure.
Yeah, what would I be without my rants? I would be someone that in many years I'd be like, who was that guy back in 2021 that had a big YouTube channel and now nobody knows who he is? No, we will rant our way to the top, and we will rant our way staying at the top. That's right. That's right, because we don't do sketchy stuff to get our subscribers. Like, I don't know, maybe the only crypto channel is growing right now. It's kind of weird, isn't it? Okay, in a recent tweet, the U.S. Commodity Futures Trading Commissioner, Caroline Pham, called the SEC's probe a striking example of regulation by enforcement. We talked about this last week. People are calling her the new crypto mom. Coinbase said, we agree with Commissioner Pham, or respectively 100% disagree with SEC's decision. And you guys know that they're doing this in a roundabout way. They're actually trying to go after an individual, say it's insider trading, which it is, and then say, oh, you traded all these securities, get them to sign off on it. And then the SEC is going to try to sweep that into their regulation. AMP being one of those coins. AMP, the Rarible Governance Token, some other ones. I can't remember exactly which one. I guess LCX, that may have been one of the ones that was on that list now that I'm thinking about that. Okay. XRP case. You know what? Let's move this back to the XRP section. We'll talk about John Deaton here in a few minutes because this John Deaton stuff is very interesting. What's going on right now with him? Okay, so Coinbase versus SEC. All right, crypto tax. Senators Pat Toomey and Kristen Sinema introduced bill to exempt small crypto transactions from capital gains taxes. Thank God. This is the only thing that makes sense. A new bill that would exempt small crypto transactions from capital gains taxes has entered the Senate. Bill would apply to transactions valued at less than $50, microtransactions with a provision to adjust that benchmark alongside inflation. Start a segment or video series called Ben's Rants. Somebody said we should take a compilation. We should go get all my best rants and bring them into one video. That would be pretty good. That might be our 1 million view video that we're still waiting on. A similar bill that sets the de minimis at $200 has been on the House for the past 2 congressional segments. So there you go. They're trying to make it a little bit easier for you to conduct your tax bill. CFTC's chair expects crypto to be a part of mainstream American portfolios. And what do you see here, guys? What do you see? What have I been telling you for the last several weeks? What did I tell you just a few moments ago on that tweet about Coinbase and the SEC? The SEC is trying to land grab. They're trying to plant a flag in as many places as they can and say, we've got this. Why? Because of the Joe Biden executive order on crypto that was made, I guess, probably about 4 or 5, 6 months ago. And the whole executive order said this: by the end of this executive order, by the end of this period, we want you guys to figure out who's managing what in crypto. So what are you saying? The SEC overreaching? You're now starting to see some of these other agencies, including the CFTC, who we love way more than the SEC. We don't love any government organization, of course, We certainly like CFTC way above the SEC. Now they're starting to position themselves. Hey, it's going to be a part of mainstream American crypto portfolios. Crypto, it's here to stay. Why? They're commodities. They're commodities. Put it in your portfolio. That way we can manage them. Makes a lot of sense to me. Definitely fits way more as a commodity than as a security. If they're going to consider all crypto to be security, I better see Windex. I better see baseball tickets. I better see books. I better see all that on the securities list, because those are investments that people make expecting a return quite often. The cryptocurrency sector is expanding at an unprecedented rate, and top executives in the financial institutions and regulatory agencies are starting to recognize its growing role in today's society, including the CFTC. We are here today because digital assets are trending towards becoming a part of mainstream American portfolios, with surveys and polls demonstrating that as many as 1 in 5 adults has invested in or otherwise used crypto. So we're seeing this blow up, and despite the fact we're in a crypto winter, due to all these reasons, as well as the onset of the current crypto winter, Benham believes there's a need for technology-neutral regulatory approach, guided by the risks within the crypto ecosystem and not by risks within the underlying technology that makes it possible. So, guys, I think it's important to understand there are risks in crypto, and we talk about it a lot. You have your own responsibility. No one is telling you exactly what you have to go do. You're the one that makes those financial decisions. This is what they're saying. We want to provide kind of a safety net for people to understand that it's going to be a safe industry. But at the end of the day, understanding the risks and then you making your decisions after that is the way that it goes. Crypto Billy says, Ben and Frank bring the authentic passion. Why I love them both. I love that.
Shout out Crypto Billy.
FYP. Is that the For You page? Where's FYP? As it happens, CFTC officials haven't always been as enthusiastic about crypto. Caroline Pham, who we've been talking about as pro-crypto, recently said, crypto tokens are like lottery tickets, stressing that most crypto projects lack customer disclosures, which lead investors to believe they are guaranteed to strike rich. Who thinks this? Who thinks that you are guaranteed to get rich when you put money in any specific crypto project? Where's the guarantee? I want you to show me the video where any of us say, if you put money into this, you are literally guaranteed. And here's the kicker here. Okay. Here's the kicker. You are literally guaranteed that your investment from this moment will never be below what it is right now. That's the guarantee. That's what these people want. That doesn't exist. We talked about earlier. Most people lose big in crypto before you win. Just because you invest, I believe there is a very, very, very strong, almost imminent chance if you invest in certain crypto projects that you will make money over time. But that doesn't mean that you're not going to watch your investment go down 90% before it comes rallying back. And this is the problem with a lot of these class action lawsuits we see against exchanges, against crypto projects, is these people believe from the moment they put money in, they should never see their portfolio go down. No, there's a big difference between realized and unrealized losses, realized and unrealized gains. So the OpenSea rant and the Kitty rant literally made my days. I tune in every day hoping for Ben rants. That's from Quantum Crypto Super Chat. Thank you for that Super Chat. I will tell you this. I think may have to start talking about OpenSea a little bit less. Start talking about what we have coming a little bit more. Co-founder of an NFT platform that is coming out. We got some big meetings about it today. It's been in development. This is going to be, launching with a very high valuation. We are not playing games. This is not going to be an NFT platform that comes out. We talk about it for a day or two. Everyone is going to be talking about it. It is going to blow away every NFT platform out there. I guess I can't say it's guaranteed, but I might. So you guys see what we are bringing to the NFT space is going to blow people away. All right. Let's see here. DeFi total value locked soars by more than 10 billion. So that was a big uptick after there was a big drop between January and June. TVL has been the basis for measuring the performance of dApps on December 2nd. TVL reached an all-time high of 253.9 billion. Of course, it dropped significantly since then, all the way down to 46 billion on July 1st. That was pretty much the low. BSC is around 5.97 billion. And just so you understand, these are the total amounts of money that are locked onto DeFi projects. I am really shocked. I think we will actually see overall this number drop as people are losing confidence in DeFi, losing confidence in staking. I will be surprised to see that to see that happen. So Kenny never came back. Better than Vivi. Vivi's a closed system, so it's much different than what we're talking about here. We are going to be big on multiple chains. That's what I'll tell you. Get Gensler on the channel. Gary Gensler would not come on this channel. He would not come on this channel. And if he did, he would probably come straight down out of the spaceship. It would be really cool to see. I mean, hey, I tag him on Twitter constantly. So if he ever actually runs his own Twitter, then he definitely knows me for sure, because my tweets about Gary Gensler get more engagement than anything he's ever put out. I will tell you that. And I don't know if he puts out or not. Institutional ETH sentiment turns positive after 11 weeks of outflows. So once again, guys, we've been looking at the ETH dominance number ticking up a little bit. That's been very positive. We've been seeing the Bitcoin dominance go down, so we're starting to see this. We had a little bit of a reversal yesterday. We'll keep on the lookout for that. But overall, we definitely believe that, the merge is going to be absolutely huge. Had a guy on Twitter, his name's Anonymous Crypto, something like that. He's a guy that got into it a little bit over something a couple weeks ago. I can't remember what it was, but we came to a good understanding, and I like the guy. He says he doesn't think the merge is going to happen until 2025. I heavily disagree with that. I think it is potentially going to be beginning of next year. They keep pushing. It's going to be this year, but we'll see. But I definitely believe it will be happening soon. Can we BitSquad get to buy in small allo investment in the NFT platform? I don't know about that. We've talked about some things kind of like that. But ultimately, it's a very complicated process that we've been walking through with the other co-founders and things like that. So Kenny went to work for the Washington Post. How about that? But I can tell you there will be benefits for using the platform for sure over time. It's not out yet. By the middle of next month, we should have a beta version, but I don't think we're going to launch it next month. We are kind of looking at, we want to launch it at the best time possible. Should be by the end of the year, we believe. So this is definitely going to be absolutely huge. Robert Wallace said, I missed his super chat. What was it? Go back up. See Robert Wallace, where you at? No, that's Nate Parham. We know Nate.
I don't think oh.
Nope. That's Quantum Crypto. Nope, that's our other guy. Nope, that's Crypto Baby. We missed it, man. Sorry, I didn't see it. It's not on our list. We can only go up so far. So really sorry. Maybe post it again. Maybe Frank can catch it. F1 teams forced to remove crypto-related ads during the French Grand Prix. How about this? Crypto sector and its digital assets like Bitcoin are growing in popularity, but some countries' authorities are still on the fence concerning their direct advertising to consumers, including in France, where crypto ads are subject to strict regulations. Among the top 10 participating teams, all but 2 are currently in some sort of partnership with crypto players, with certain teams featuring more than one partner. Crypto ads are under severe regulatory scrutiny in Hong Kong, shocker, ran by China, obviously, where advertising an unlicensed crypto business liable to a fine of up to $50,000 or imprisonment for up to 6 months under the amended anti-money laundering law. How about that? Let's see here. Yep, that's the end of that story. Axie Infinity. Who's buying Axie Infinity? You gonna buy some Axie? Who's it? You can get some Axie Infinity, Frank. You into it?
Yeah.
You playing to earn? Guys, Axie Infinity, I would say, what color do I use on my eyebrows? My eyebrows are El Natural, just so you guys know. I don't use any coloring products on any of my hairs. These are all natural. And I did tweet on Twitter, one of my favorite places to tweet. If you guys didn't know, I've had significant amount of gray hair since I was in the 3rd grade. I was one of those weird kids that had a gray patch when I was in middle school and high school. So this is not new. This is not new. The plethora of colors, the rainbow of colors that makes up my face. It is not new, but it is au natural. Axie Infinity fails to bounce despite 91% drop since all-time high. Now, will Axie Infinity bounce? Yeah, at some point it'll bounce. It'll bottom. It'll go up. But are we really looking at Axie Infinity as a massive player in the next bull run in crypto gaming? Personally, I am not. I think a lot of that went kaput. A lot of stuff about Filipino users. We love people from the Philippines. I have some people from the Philippines that work for me. That's actually one of the few countries I've been to is the Philippines on a mission trip when I was younger. But the fact is that their user base has been sucked away from them, and they're not, the value of Axie Infinity is not high enough right now that people are really wanting to play it. So people are looking at being 91% down and being like, oh man, we should get in this. No, I mean, think about this. A 91 to a 99% drop is like an 80% drop or 85% drop from where it is right now. And that can happen. We've seen several crypto projects were down 99%. Icon is the one that comes to mind. Icon went down 99% in the last bull run. Opinions on film.io. Don't know anything about it. Robert Wallace, big love from the UK. We are coming to London in November. So if you guys want to, we got to do something out there, right? Like some kind of UK meetup. I do the anti-coin bear meetup. Big love for the UK. Keep fighting the good fight. I was just asking you, would be buying to hold to the bull market with $15,000. Okay, so I would love to go over that with you right now, but I'm not going to. And here's why. Monday, we actually had a content meeting this morning, and we just got the plan together for our sample portfolios. We will be putting out a $1,000, a $10,000, and a $25,000 sample portfolio next week, and we're going to track it all the way through the bear market, all the way into the bull run. Now, here's what I want to tell you. I want you guys to all be prepared for this. They're going to be heavy on stable coins for right now. We're going to show you the levels and the coins at which we disperse those stable coins into. And I don't expect to be 100% in the market, definitely until, maybe the beginning of next year or maybe the end of this year, potentially. But this is going to be a long time coming. This is not going to be something we're going to show it, and then we want y'all to go we're going to put 100% of the coins in there. No, we're going to have a lot of stable coins to start. We're going to show you the decision-making process, because last year we put out like $1,000 portfolio in March or probably March, I think it was, and it didn't do so well. Why? Because we were doing it towards what we didn't know at the time, but towards the top of the market. Now we're going to be able to show you guys from the bear market how we set things up, how we position ourselves, how we make money. And what's going to happen is at the top of this next run, we're going to be able to look at this portfolio. We're going to be able to say, oh, he turned $25,000 into $782,000. He turned $1,000 into $43,000, whatever it's going to be, and nobody's going to be able to take that away. So what happens is when the prices drop in these coins in the bear market, you always people say, oh, you talked about this project and it's down 87%. Everything goes down. Everything does. We're going to show you from the bottom to the top. Much better way to do it. Douglas James, $20 super chat. Ben, where's your bangs? Looking fit. Keep it up, bro. Here's my bang. We're at Froze Rose today. I actually do like this flavor, Froze Rose. Pretty good. Ben, make more millions, borrow your energy and sell it to BitSquad. I will buy some, bro. Yeah. BitBoy juice. We'll call it BitBoy juice. Frank, would you sip on some BitBoy juice?
Hey, I would sip on some BitBoy juice. I'd pay top dollar for some BitBoy juice.
Top dollar. About 5-minute energy. XRPKs, crypto law founder defends. Where's my XRP army? Throw the X up. Let's go ahead and put it in there. Let's do this. If you're in the XRP army, throw it up. Here's your man, John Deaton. I mean, this is like the Clint Eastwood of XRP right here. John Deaton. This man's a killer. I mean, he's not literally a killer. He's a killer lawyer. Crypto law founder defends Coinbase despite XRP being delisted. Says SEC started war. Remember this, guys. Remember this. And this is really where I got in on XRP. The enemy of my enemy is my friend, right? I wasn't big on XRP. You guys know this. I threw it under the bus. People bring it up all the time. Hey, guys, people change their opinion. It was really the SEC case that made me really recalibrate, look at what I actually believed about this coin, understand what the reality was, and came around and realized, oh no, remember the government's the enemy. What? We're all in this together in crypto. And the XRP community is freaking awesome. Like, I love the XRP community so much. I used to make fun of them all the time. But you come around to different positions after you take in more information. And that's something I really want you guys to take a hold on this channel, is that, look, we change positions sometimes. We don't change overnight, but we over time will change positions based on new information. And John Deaton here, this is what he's saying. Coinbase, they delisted XRP, not the best, but the enemy of my enemy is my friend. The enemy of Coinbase is the SEC, and the enemy of the SEC is Coinbase. That makes XRP and Coinbase friends. That's the way that it goes. I hope I'm saying that right. Maybe the friend of my enemy is my friend. The enemy of my enemy is my friend, right? That's how you say it. Anyways, I'm getting my words discombobulated. John Deaton, a founder of law firm Crypto Law and a well-known XRP enthusiast, went on an angry tirade against the U.S. SEC. Whatever you think about Brian Armstrong, Uncle Brian, or Coinbase, this is not how regulation should work. Coinbase was allowed to go public with tokens like XRP and others. 4 years ago, senior SEC staff complimented Coinbase on its securities framework. Now, Dirty Gary Gensler, the alien, aka Skeletor, ignores history. In Dean's opinion, regardless of the attitude towards Coinbase and its CEO, Uncle Brian Armstrong, this is not how regulation works. And the SEC's actions, which began back with the XRP case, have put the crypto community at war with the regulator. So there you go. John Deaton is going after these people so hard. An enemy of my enemy is my friend until my enemy is no more. That's a good one. I like that. Takeaway. Ben will make fun of you one day, and the next day he will be saying you're low IQ if you didn't buy. I love these people, man. Yeah, John Deaton is a beast. John Deaton is definitely a beast. Ripple Inc.'s major partnership with Singapore-based institution Fomo Pay will use Ripple's on-demand liquidity product in order to increase the efficiency of payments. ODL, of course, is what this is called. Blockchain company Ripple has inked a partnership with Fomo Pay, one of the leading payment institutions in Singapore, according to a Monday announcement. Fomo Pay was founded back in 2015 as a one-stop payment aggregator for enterprises and merchants spanning the e-commerce, telecom, retail, tourism industries. Man, I feel like I have been really going so long on these shows. I feel like I could talk forever about crypto right now. Why? It's not even that interesting.
Time flies when you're having fun.
I'm just having fun with the people, man. I just love the people. Do I think TJ is watching the show right now? No. TJ never watches the show when he's not here, which I'll be honest, I don't watch my own show. I would maybe. No, I would never watch my own show. If I wasn't me, I would watch it for sure. All right, go ahead. Let's get some Q&A. Let me do the quick hits and we'll do a Q&A. Cardano can now be traded against Bitcoin on major crypto exchange. This is on Mexi Global. Mexi. They call it Sexy Mexi. That's what they call it. A visual explains why China's CBDC should not be as anonymous as cash. Duh, because they want to tie your ability to spend money to your social credit score. Everybody knows that, of course. Let's see here. Crypto CEO who faked PayPal partnership pleads guilty to $21 million fraud. CEO of Titanium Blockchain, which raised $21 million at ICO, admitting to publishing phony white papers and false testimonials. Wow, ICO, stuff really coming back around here, hitting people. 20 years in prison. He'll probably get a slap on the wrist. He's not going to do 20 years in prison. We'll see. Mexican crypto exchange Bitso reaches more than 1 million users in Brazil. Two places to watch, Brazil and Mexico, when it comes to crypto. I've been saying that for a long time. All right, go ahead.
All right. So we've got from Tommy. He says, if I have around 100K in Celsius, do I need to file a claim or is there anything I should be doing?
No, there's nothing you should be doing at this point. There's not really, I don't think there's a place you can really put the claim in at this point. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe they did something where you could sign and put in a claim. I can't remember. Is that true, Tim? Oh, there is. Yeah, so you can put a claim on Celsius? Okay, yes, you can put a claim in on Celsius. There was an email they sent out? Okay. That's my CFO right there. He handles all our Celsius stuff. Great job, Tim. Just kidding. We loved him. So yeah, they did apparently send in an email where you could go and fill out something for the claim. So he did that. That's why I didn't know about it. But I did maybe remember seeing that email. So yeah, you should have put a claim in. I continue to watch what Simon Dixon is doing. I mean, what he's doing is really phenomenal. Now, some people may make the argument. This is one thing, like, you think all sorts of things while people are talking. Like, is this really just a play for him to take over Celsius? It seems like everything he's doing is out of goodwill. But he was, talking about trying to put them in a position to basically kind of take them over in a sense. But look, nothing can be worse than who's running it now. So, good for him. If that's what he wants to do, if it affects us in a positive way, then great. I think Simon Dixon is definitely the person to follow and keep up to date with all the latest stuff on Celsius. But yeah, if you have 100,000 or any amount, they did send an email where you can go and make a claim for that. So, I mean, guys, really forecasting out what I think is going to happen. I used to think we were going to get like 20% we might get higher. We may be able to get up to 50% back. I don't want to give you guys full of hopium, and I don't know how long that's going to take. Simon was saying with Bitfinex, it took only like, I think 6 months, or I can't remember what the exact amount of days was, but it was a short period of time where the people got paid back. So there is potential for us to get some of that money back. And it is what it is. It's very sad. But of course, if you get 50% of it back and it goes up in a bull run, twice past all-time highs, then you make all your money back. But wouldn't have been as much as it was if you had it all. But I do think 20% is, reasonable expectation. Best case scenario, maybe 50%. They're 20% in the hole, so that would be 80%. But you got to remember, 600 million of that's in sell token. So that's like another, 15% gone right there. So best possible scenario would be like 65%. I don't think you're getting that. They got other creditors. So maybe 50% would be best case scenario. But once again, you should be operating like you're never going to see any of that money again, because that's going to be the best thing for your mental health.
Okay, shout out to Michael Snelling. He says, is there an XRP class action lawsuit? If so, where is the official website?
Now there's several lawsuits. So there is an XRP class action lawsuit against Ripple Labs from a guy in Arizona who bought Ripple at the top, or bought XRP at the top in 2017 or January 2018, and is suing. I think maybe somebody can correct me on this if I'm wrong, but I think that's on hold right now while the SEC lawsuit plays out, and then we'll see from there. That's kind of precedent. What we've seen like from Tezos and some other projects, the way they handled these kinds of things, these class action lawsuits. Now John Deaton filed on behalf of 67,000 different XRP holders. I don't know if it's still open to be able to sign up for that still. I don't think that it is. If it is, you can go check out John Deaton on Twitter, and you can find out more information. Somebody could probably drop that into the chat. Also saw, by the way, somebody mentioned my dad. Thank you so much for asking about that. My dad just did his 3rd round of chemotherapy last week. And, the weekends are hard after it. He does it every 3 weeks. He has one more session of the chemotherapy in about 2 weeks. And, hopefully after that, he gets rechecked and tested. And hopefully it's gone. That would be best case scenario. He feels good. He's very confident that things are going well. Doesn't feel great the week after the chemotherapy. That's why they give him 3 weeks to recover. But I called him like 2 weeks ago, and he was. Now I retired my dad. He doesn't have to work anymore. What was he doing? He was working. He was in an attic with, they were putting some trim up or doing something. He just loves to work. The guy loves to work. I mean, you can't blame him. It's got to be good to get out and do stuff. But I appreciate all the thoughts and the prayers on that situation. Continue that, and we'll certainly hope that, we get some good news on that here in a few weeks. And maybe we can move on for a temporary amount of time. So, it is what it is. So it is still open. You can still join John Deaton's class action. So if you go to John Deaton's Twitter page, I'm sure you can find out more information about that. So, all right, guys, I think that is all we've got. Alexander, I see that. Prayers to your dad as well. And that's all we got for today. Thank you so much for watching. We'll be back tomorrow. Do you think TJ will be back tomorrow? He's got a neck brace. He'll have a neck brace on for like a few weeks, I think. He can't go to the gym for 6 weeks, just so y'all know. So I'm going to push way past him on all the numbers. This is the thing I've been the most excited about. But of course, I got the leg injury, and I was out of the gym for 3 weeks, and my numbers have dropped dramatically. So, all right, guys, that's all we got. Hopefully TJ will be back tomorrow, but we love Frank too.
Yes, maybe it'll be me. It'll be a surprise.
Frank will be doing TA no matter what tomorrow, right?
Yes.
Perfect. All right, and don't forget to check out Frank Candle's 545 Ride Around the Blockchain. He goes live. So I got, be blessed. Good boy out.